What is up, the world of the living? My name is Zloyxp and welcome back to Truly Bedrock. I have quite some errands to run according to the library of comments that we have established in previous videos. Oh. What? What the what? It was absolutely not there last time I logged off. That is incredible. I entirely forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so might not say that I owe you guys free videos worth of comments for the library in particular. Yeah, you see, that's what pre-recording actually gets you. I kind of forgot to add a segment for it in the previous one. Plus, it was kind of self-contained about the wither and that kind of stuff. And at the same time, a video before that, I didn't even have this entire thing. So, yeah. I got a comment for episode 2, for episode 1. I need to add a comment for episode 2, I need to add a comment for episode 3, and I need to add a comment for episode 4. In the meantime, we have these comments from, what's their faces, everybody else basically on the server. There's a comment from Foxy, well, not from Foxy, a video, a comment on Foxy's video, a comment on Rogue Fox video, basically just a bunch of them sitting in here. Which is nice because that means that the library is filling in, and it's terrible because that also means that the library is running out of stuff. Also, as you can tell, I already implemented this little bit right here, where this is basically a display for some of the milestones of the server, which kind of makes this less of a library, more of a museum, but I don't really care for the semantics of it. We will expand eventually into this here place, and we can also open up towards that direction, because you can tell towards that direction there's just a hill. So we can dig into the hill and expand the trophy / memento room for now. Right now, we have here the only skull that survived 29th of January 2019, which is exactly when Silent died in lava, losing 9 skulls out of 10. We have one of the first nether stars of Season 0, which is, yeah, really good one. Zloy decided to keep it here instead of making an actual functional beacon and using it. But that's actually small potatoes compared to, say, TNC Cuban, who sacrificed the entire armor set of diamond armor to us, to the museum, because this is the first full set that we ever have on the server. I checked, no one else had a full set yet. We all had only like one piece per person, mostly even tools. And then Rogue Fox found the first ever slime block crafted, which seems like a bit of a little thing really compared to, well, this. But at the same time, you gotta think about it differently. Slime chunks are broken on the server at the moment. Well, everywhere on Bedrock at the moment. This is actually very impressive and very incredibly important. So, that being said, episode number 2. What do we have to show for it? So, that being said, episode number 2 comment of the video. Let's go! So, there are several ones that I really liked. One from Doggy101, you're so funny, I think more people should watch you, which he's definitely correct about that. There is people basically saying, hey, love the series. I absolutely enjoy having that. But the one that stood out to me especially, is one by Saber Dentures. Not only because that username is bloody amazing, but also because he said, amazing how many little things there are to learn in Minecraft, which is something that actually I have a thing about. And I'm not meaning that I have like a tutorial series or like a survival guide. No, I'm not. I don't do those type of deal. Well, I do those type of deal, but I don't have anything to show for it right now. No, what I mean is, I have this theory for myself, and that's why I wanted to discuss this channel, this comment in particular, that every single Minecrafter who has played this game for more than a couple months can tell you an entire world of little tips and tricks, which is why every time, like, some people get burned out on even tutorial series and like survival of Thief and that kind of stuff. I never am, because every single Minecrafter is so different in their approach to the game. All of them can teach you something, or at the very least most of them can teach you something. Okay, let's put it the other way. All of them can teach you something, some of them even will. So yeah, that being said, that's a pretty cool theme to actually address in today's comments. So right now, if you have one tip or trick to like new Minecraft players or just in general, something you just do when you're building or something you just do in like in general in Bedrock Edition, Java Edition, just share it right now in the comments. I would really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'll be I want to say that I'll be writing down the comment I just mentioned, but this is not just a written book, is it? Okay, so there's quite a story to this one particular one, and it's yeah, it's one I almost forgot about. This is a ransom note. I wanted to leave FoxyNoTail for when I stole his sheep in one of the first videos. Whoops. Yeah, you see, Foxy had this little pen with the sign Foxy's Ship of Dream, which we at one point replaced for a cow. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to ransom 32 diamonds out of him. Which is like why I formatted the book in this way, as if it was like assembled by a kidnapper out of random pieces of paper. I also prepared this map with a red X on it, and the name of the map are the coordinates of where he should leave the payment if he ever wants to see his ship ever again. I entirely forgot to make a video about it, so I'm sorry. A comment of the episode 3 will have to wait for a moment. I gotta go drop somebody a ransom note. I'm hitting the right address, and this really is the island of the Foxy. I can kind of tell because his island is the only, well, not the only one, but one of the only ones that is actually a flower forest and has the, the trees, the jungle trees growing around on it. Also, it's one of the only ones that actually has a sign with the name on it. Yep, here it is. And if you're asking yourself, how can I, like, reliantly find it? Judging by how far away it is from everybody else. Well, a couple of days ago I basically made this map for my own sake. This is a map zoomed out like 4 times. Yeah, it says 3 out of 4, but you know, basic one is 0. So it was like zoomed out 3 times, so it's the 4th level of zooming out. You get my point. This is a map, okay? And I placed a copy of this map at every single inhabited island around the place, which is why there are those green dots all around. You can tell that there's overall so far just 6 general spots of activity, with some people grouping up together into like a group of 2, like myself and Silent on the Undead Island, which is the one directly, the lowest one in the middle, and then the one right next to the left is the Spawn Island, which you can identify right now by the little bridges, by the little docks that Foxy has built. Which, yeah, it was very cool of him to build those, and I really like them, but he's still getting a ransom note, and he's still getting a thing. So does he actually come here often? Because there's nothing here. Has he not built anything at all on his supposed island of greatness? Oh well, none of my problem. Here's your ransom note, here's your map. I sure hope he'll figure out that these are the coordinates of the actual chest, and because I didn't bother to make a locator map for him. Also, here's a fun trivia. If you have a locator map, which this one is, and you want it copied, don't make a second locator map. Don't spend your iron and redstone on a compass. Make a regular empty map and copy. And this will create 2 locator maps. Check this out. Yeah, the dot representing me will be still moving on both of them. So that's a way you can kind of save up on iron for a bit, early game. To think about it, this entire thing with the map, which, yeah, this map has all the bases right now, except maybe for the Wooder Kill and Cheba. brings me to an idea of what else we can add into the museum of, you know, this server. So, locator maps are great. These regular ones aren't, because you can't really tell where you are generally, like that period. You can't tell where you are, period. That's a bit of a problem, but they are tiny bit better if you want a lot of them, which is we're gonna need a lot of them to fill up this entire area and put it on a display. However, a downside to the locator ones are that you still kind of cannot really tell where you are. You see, on Java Edition, you can actually rename a banner, place it, right click it with a map, and the name of that banner will show up on the map from then on. Bedrock Edition doesn't have that function. However, both editions have this little tidbit. If you place a block on a map, it will obviously be shown on an updated version of that map, right? Which allows you to make some pretty sweet pixel arts, right? However, sweet pixel arts aren't exactly what I have in mind. What I have in mind is a little system that would allow us to identify which one island is displayed on the map by just looking at it. We're gonna do what people do in real life. We're gonna just sign the stupid islands. These names probably will not show up on this general one, but if you want to get the overall layout and perhaps memorize it, you will be able to just go into the museum, take one good look at the map, remember where you're going, and you'll be golden. What's even greater is that we will be able to copy all of that map, all of these maps for the museum, and just put it somewhere else if we at one point create another hub or a subway system or something like that. I feel that would be pretty useful and also a pretty impressive thing for everybody involved. So let's get on that after we add the comment for the third video, of course. And for episode 3 we have Jonathan Price commenting, knew about making the stance change pose, but didn't know about the redstone making it change. I'm heading off to my new testing vault to see just what kind of signals I can send it. Thank you tons for the new toy, and I'm sorry about the title page. For some reason it was erased, I have no idea why. I will have to look deeper into the formatting rules of Bedrock books, because this shouldn't happen. But yeah, there is also a downside, because I have a theory that this happened because basically originally in his comment Jonathan used the words "blew my mind," and Minecraft, being the helpful game that it is, attempted to censor him, which, thank you for that, Moyank. Yeah, but yeah, the redstone can in fact change the armor stand thing, the armor stand poses, and I actually had a project that I wanted to show to you guys, that I was kind of fiddling with the idea of behind the scenes. Check this one out. Out here, behind FoxyNoTail's new and improved armor stand enchanted ruin, or something like that. Not armor stand, just regular enchanted ruin, sorry. I have this little guy sitting here, who, yeah, I originally planned as a little bit of a barkeeper. You see, the idea would be that he would be doing basically this motion constantly as you enter the place, and he would hold, well, I don't have a sponge in my hand, so he would hold a piece of sponge, pretend that that piece of sand is a sponge, and constantly kind of attempt to clean the counters or like clean the glasses. So he would basically just stand there constantly, like moving his hand back and forth, left and right. And I mean, it kind of does look like what I want him to look like, but at the same time it kind of doesn't, and I freely admit it. It's a bit of a problem. Heck, if I would just place a second block here, it would actually look more like he's banging his head against the wall, rather than he's trying to like clean up the mess that the patrons of the bar made. Alternatively, I thought maybe giving him something amongst the, like something that looks like a glass or like or a portion of water to drink would be a better idea. Pretend that this Nautilus shell is a piece of water, a bucket of water or something. So he would look like he's drinking from it, but he would also constantly look like he's drinking from it. On top of that, I had another idea where I would implement an armor stand, not armor stand, a pufferfish player detector that would cause the armor stand to actually freeze in one particular pose when you approach it. So when he's in his regular mode, he would be just, you know, standing there like, no, I'm cleaning the glasses from the patrons. And then you kind of approach him and you step on a pressure plate or something and he's just, ha! You're here, hello, allow me to sell you drinks. And now that I think about it, I think I know a pretty cool armor stand type project for this pier that FoxyNoTail has built. Give me a moment, I'll try something out. Ooh, this one's gonna be a fun one, and to kind of start it, all you have to do is get this pillar, after which we get a waterlogged, whatchamacallit, this thing, the trapdoor, a waterlogged trapdoor, and then a block on top of it, and then another block. So, on this upper block, we place an armor stand, and on this trapdoor, we place with... Okay, let's... I might have messed it up. I might have... Yeah, there's a trapdoor, a block, an empty block, and another block, okay? That's how it's good. That's how it's done. I apologize for any inconvenience. But yeah, we get this, and then we get... boom, 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 boom. How do I place him? Like, really, what would be a best idea for this, like, fisherman that I'm trying to get? Something among these lines. So we remove all the helping blocks, drop this guy onto the trapdoor, and drop this guy into the boat, and ta-da! You got yourself a friendly fisherman holding a fish. Not a fish, you know, the fishing rod. And you can't even tell that it's an armor stand if you're standing far away, because it is not really noticeable that this guy has a plate at its feet. And to complete the illusion, we can even leash a squid, coincidentally named a very crappy gust, and put it, kind of leash him to the little fence post that I added to the boat. So now it sorta looks like he's trying to fish out the squid. Yep, this guy is pretty awesome in his swamp boots and like swamp pants. If only we had actual custom skulls to put on him. Now, wasn't I doing something important? I wanted to implement the map of everything forever over to the library. Yeah, with markets and whatnot. And I actually came up with something really cool for the markets. Check this out. Now, looking all around us, you don't necessarily see any markers, right? You like in the sky, in the here, in the ocean, but once you open them up, boom, says hello. Hello, even. Right there. The lower left, lower right corner. It says hello. It says hello right here where I should be standing, but there is no hello to be had. Now, why is that, I hear you ask? Well, that is because we are playing this server on a realm, and realms have a default, a very short-sighted default render distance. No matter how much of a render distance I set up for myself, and I would love to set up a giant one, I will not be able to kind of, you know, force it. Yeah. The word hello actually was written this whole time over there at the very build limit. What's more important, it is also unseeable from the ground down. You maybe have a chance of building something high, like a tower or something, and taking a look vertically up and then seeing it, but unless you rise up like 40 blocks like I just did, yeah, there's no sight of it. So this is our chance to actually do something pretty great. It's our chance to grab and make a label for every single island that we need to know a name of. We need to know a label of, without actually obstructing the beautiful view of the island. I say as I turn my head and see the redstone machinery all exposed, not masked, just sitting there in the middle of the spruce island. Yep. Slack, come on. I mean, seriously. So it came to, obviously, choosing the color and the material, basically, that I want to build this stuff out of. Now, of course, the brown of the planks is okay, but really not that solid. By which I mean they're like, first of all, if you build anything out of the wood below the marker, it will be pretty obvious that, yeah, the signage will be lost. At the same time, if you build it over the ocean, it's gonna be the ugly brown over the ugly blue. We don't want any of that. So, of course, this is where white concrete comes in. Because, of course, white concrete comes in. I mean, come on, guys, take a look at what I've built so far this season. I cannot build anything without white concrete in it, apparently. And I was like, yay, let's do that, yay, let's just everything. And no, guys, you gotta first, you'll have to first craft a bunch of it. You have to then put it somewhere into the water. You'll have to do this, that, and whatnot. No, white concrete is way too expensive of a material. Let's go for something also white instead, but much more usable in this particular instance. Did you know that, you know, snow can be farmed? Because I'm pretty sure you did. And I'm pretty sure we will. Let's farm snow, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Okay, cool. Let's make a snowman. So this is what I have so far, just kind of winging it off the top of my head. First I wanted really some sort of cursive lettering, but then I realized that I'm just not smart to wing it, like from the top of my head, just instant cursive. So I decided to go for bold instead, because it's easier to do in a game made out of blocks. And also I have this giant pillar leading up to the entire sign, which is why I need to consult someone before I actually remove it. So, Silent, what do you think about the entire... Oh, there you are. Silent, what do you think about this entire thing? Check this out.
It looks amazing. It seriously does look like amazing. Like that is beautiful.
Thanks.
I love everything about it. And you can't see it from down here either because the realm render distance.
Yeah, that was actually like your idea. Something I failed to mention in my previous clips because, of course, I'm stealing everybody's ideas.
Yeah, I guess other people can go ahead and like build names for their islands as well.
Oh, you trust them with that? Because I don't.
No, I don't trust them at all, but they can try.
I mean, for one, like, my thought is that if we carry on with the naming conventions of it, we will have to type the word island like 15 more times. And that's just annoying. Look! He's sneaking!
I can't hit you. Hold on.
Can I?
Hold on.
I can hit you!
Ow!
With a shower, no less. Ow. And this is where I realized that, you know, the project is like way too big for my shoes at the moment. Check this out! This is not even the whole map. This is just like 4 islands out of however many. Okay, we got at least 6, right? Bases. There should be another map on the thing, the undead island. But at the same time, apparently Silent took it for himself just to be able to orient himself. But yeah, check this out. We got Gruva's one, we got the Spruce Island of Prowl and Slack. We have the Spawn, which, by the way, I'm incredibly proud, to be honest, with all 3 of these little text bits. They're ever so cool and frankly much cooler than the default little banner system that the Java has. But of course this also can be executed in Java. In fact, I at one point attempted to do this exact same thing on Decidedly Vanilla, but that did not work out for me in the slightest. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases out of 6, and the 6th one will be like 2 more maps that way. And 2 more maps that way means that I will have to also spread out, fill in the entire thing. And also it means that I don't actually have enough of a wall to fit all of this on inside of the library. Oh well, I mean, we can just, you know, rip off the Foxy bit of the map and like display it separately, as in like, oh, and this is something far, far away. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's just Foxy. But seriously though, guys, check this out. Ain't it pretty? I think it really is, and I'm looking forward to actually working on lettering for the ginormous turtle shell that Gruva is building for himself, and whatever it is that TNC Cuban has on these 4 maps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will have to write it on this one. Something along the line of Cuba itself or something like that. I don't know. Now, of course, this map covers much more than this one, because it's way zoomed out and it's one map and not like several. But at the same time, these are the most important ones, plus Foxy's one somewhere out in the ocean. So these are the ones that I care to mark out to help people orient themselves and figure out just how close or how far away we are from each other. Now, I will probably need an entirely different room for it, but that's a story for another time. For now, thank you everybody so much for watching. I'm quite proud of everything I accomplished in today's episode, and I know that it has been tiny bit unfocused, but that's what you get with like survival multiplayer servers. Every now and again you just have to kind of catch up on all that stuff that you promised to do and never did. So, sorry about that. Hey, shrug. I promise next episode we'll do something more focused, and I also promise I will be in my normal gear and not these lab coats that for some reason villagers feel should represent the librarians. Well, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Thank you everybody so much for watching. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye.